This week's Sedra Tazria Mitzora. One of the most unique aspects of Judaism is the lack of any sort of caste system. There is no privileged class of Jews who are given special rights and privileges. The only people honored above others in the halacha are Jews who have earned their honor: Torah scholar, parents, and the elderly. Maimonides wrote, "The crown of the Torah is set aside, waiting and ready for each Jew, as it is written in the Torah. The Torah which Moshe commanded us is the inheritance of the congregation of Jacob. Whoever decides may come and take it." Maimonides goes on to say that the crown of Torah is greater than even King David's crown. Knowing that there is no privileged class makes the role of the Cohen in this week's Torah portion so troubling. In our Torah portion, we begin studying the physical affliction called tzarat. Often mistranslated as leprosy, tzarat was a skin affliction brought about by sin. It is literally a physical manifestation of metaphysical illness. A person suspects that they have been afflicted with tzarat when they see symptoms like skin abrasions. In a quirk of halacha, it is a decree by the Torah that only the Cohen is qualified to determine which skin afflictions are just afflictions and which afflictions are tzarat, as the Sforno explained. Even if a person is an eminent Torah scholar, an expert on tzarat, if they are not a Cohen, they cannot declare a person afflicted with tzarat or not afflicted with tzarat. It would seem that the Cohen isn't a privileged class where only he can declare what is and isn't tzarat. For a religion that boasts no privileged class, it sure seems the Cohen is in that privileged class. In fact, the 32nd mitzvah is to exalt, honor, and elevate the descendants of Aharon, the Cohanim, to treat them in a way of sanctity and respect. How do we understand the Cohen's special designation to determine which skin afflictions are tzarat and the honor that we give him? The Sforno offers two explanations to God's choosing one class of people to determine tzarat. This is what he wrote. The prophet Malachi said, "The pronouncements of the Cohen will preserve Jewish religion." The Cohen is required to counsel the afflicted person to examine his lifestyle so that he himself will become the key to his rehabilitation. At the same time, the Cohen will add his own prayer when asking God to heal the afflicted. Apart from his prayer, his expertise will tell him that when the stage has been reached, when the affliction has waned, so that the count toward rehabilitation and the presentation of offerings can begin. The Sforno's two explanations address two practical reasons to have one class of people designate tzarat. Far from a privileged class, the descendants of Aharon are charged to be a people who love and chase peace. A person afflicted with tzarat is physically afflicted, but also emotionally troubled. They know it is sin that has brought them to this tragic point of their life. They need men of peace to hold their hands and bring them back. Those men of peace are the Cohanim. At the same time, as the Cohen sees more and more examples of tzarat, by experience, he becomes the expert. There's no more qualified person than the Cohen to designate tzarat. The Cohen's role as a spiritual guide, all at once, rabbi, teacher, and chaplain, is why they are honored, to honor God since he singled them out to serve him and offer his sacrifices. It isn't that the Cohen is a special or privileged person. Rather, they are charged with a special task that forces them into a position that merits honor and uniqueness. The Cohen, like the Torah scholar, elder, and parent, has a role which gives them honor. They are born to a task, not to a caste. Shabbat Shalom.